decide that because, you know, they're an adult and they should be able to do what they want. People are out to outer space, but if you have echo chambers, it'll radicalize and crystallize into Scientology. But what I'm saying is, like, so you actually, the logical and like behavioral outcome of like not allowing somebody to have a quote echo chamber is to give people, to take away people's autonomy of like basically getting together, which is like a fundamental right that people have, is that they have the right to assembly. Yeah, it's like you take away people's right to assembly entirely. This, for instance, not an echo chamber because I can challenge you. Well, it's absolutely an echo chamber because, and it just depends on what degree of echo chamber you think that it is. So, like, I can ban you and then that's over. That's all there is to it. Some echo chambers are fine for a private social life, essentially. Well, I think that people are generally okay with, I think people should have the right to, like, outside of things that are huge, right? Like, for example, I think social media should, because it's, like, so big, I think social media should have some degree of accountability to it. Like you know, like oversight, like regulation. I think social media is like it's too powerful and too important to not have regulation. General supervision needs regulation. No one needs to be a billionaire. Yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion on that, honestly. I don't really care if like people are like super rich. Doesn't really matter to me. But it's a problem if people are super poor. Like, for example, like if you're able to, like, you know, afford, you know, a house and be able to take care of yourself, like I don't really see the problem there. A lot of people confuse freedom of speech with consequence of action. It's because they're the same thing. Think about it logically. So if you don't have freedom, if you don't have consequence of action, like, for example, like you have freedom of speech in China, right? You can say whatever you want. It's just that you don't have freedom of consequences, and the consequence is that the government comes and takes you away and arrests you. So freedom of speech fundamentally is freedom from consequences. Like that's what it is at a fundamental level. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You just go to the gulag for it. Yeah, I mean, like, come on. Think about it. Get some of these real quick. Billionaires equals nepotism. Everything has nepotism. Nepotism has nothing to do with billionaires. Hate speech and harassment, common practice, or forms of violence. I think that the idea that words are violence is ridiculous. I think that words are fundamentally not violence. Now, you know, words can be a threat of violence and, you know, something like that, yeah, but words are not violence. It's silly. I think the people that say words are violence are people that are looking for an excuse to be violent. So they equate the reason why they're violent with words because they want to be violent to people who are saying words. So it's like if you can convince people or, you know, like rationalize, you know, somebody's words are violence, then morally it's okay to be violent towards that person because their words were violence. You see, so like you're not escalating the situation was already escalated. Words of violence versus violence of no legal distinction, no? Words of violence versus threats of violence of no legal distinction, no? I don't know what country you live in, but in America, there's no, as far as I know, there's no word you can say that's like a threat of violence is against the law for sure, but it's not like if you just say a word or something like that, you go to jail. You agree with that? You know, I've been out for too long and don't experience any real or high stress situations. People actually say what they think and it can hurt you a lot. So you think that I haven't, like, so like what experience do you think that I haven't been, like, you realize I talk to more people every day than you've probably talked to in your entire life, right? It's just like such a stupid thing to say. Let's see if I can get this guy here. Through a PC, it doesn't even make sense. So you're saying that somebody can say the exact same thing on a PC, but one of them is violent and one of them is not violent? Can you give me an example of that? Give me an example of something that somebody says in real life that would be violence, but it would not be violence if they said it over a PC. Do you get high stress situation in PC? No, I mean, sure, I think people do. There are plenty of people that get in high stress situations over a PC. Are you going to tell me that their feelings are they don't matter? That they have inferior feelings to yours? Because what if they think that that's violence itself? Yeah, plenty of people get stressed out over the internet. You can talk to people right now through PC. Doesn't really have any weight because you don't know the person. So do you think that I like? So you think that if somebody was yelling at me at Walmart, I would know that person more than if they were somebody I've known on the internet for years, but I'd never met in real life? Yeah, but now again, compared to real life situations, PC interactions, which are two completely different situations. Well, I want you to explain to me, after this I do really have to go, it's getting super late. I want you to explain to me give me an idea of a situation that would be okay to have on the PC, like something that's okay to say on PC but not okay to say in real life. Give me like one example. I've been a victim of everything through PC, never cared, life threats. You actually feel the heat in the moment, it's totally different. Okay, well then give me an example then. Because you're implying that you've been in that, and like, so give me an example. Like, you're talking about like being on the PC. Come on, give me one example. Just one. Sleep as my mounts trying tomorrow for sure. I need to look and see which mounts I still need to farm. Yeah, see, now he's not talking. Oh, have you ever fighted with a friend? You know, a friend that knows you and can actually tell you stuff that tickles you? That's a high stress situation. That's the heat. You don't get that in a PC. You don't get emotional. It's not a physical thing. So you would have given me an example if you had one, but you know that your logic is flawed, and that's why you're trying to talk around the fact. You're just stupid. Just give up. Yeah, you would have given me a clear example what you were talking about. You didn't. Because you don't know what you're talking about. I just don't get the question. You were doing the wrong question. Okay. You said that... Fuck, I'm wasting so much time on this. Oh my god. Okay, let's just wrap this up. Okay, so you said that I don't have a lot of experience in real life, and so I don't understand what it's like if you're in a real life situation. And then I said, well, does that mean that things that you say in real life are different than things you say on a PC? You said yes. Right? This is still something that you believe, that, you know, you can't get stressed out on the PC. I'm just trying to make the point. You can't compare a guy talking shit in a PC, actual human interaction. It's just silly. Well, what I'm saying is that, like, the way that you should approach the situation is basically the same. And the way that any, like, for example, like, if somebody was rude to me in real life, I would just want to get away from them. Like, if somebody was saying rude things to me, I would just be like, well, leave me alone, like, asshole, right? That's about it. There's not really much else to say about it besides that. I mean, yeah, I get angry IRL. Yeah, I mean, maybe you get a little bit more upset in real life, but it's a matter of degree, not a matter of validity. Like, it's not like, I mean, if somebody says something that makes you mad in real life, like, it's okay to, like, hit them or something like that either. I mean, shit, if you did that, we'd be back in the Stone Ages. And so we can't have that. So it's like the way that you have to deal with people saying things you don't like is the same on the internet as it is in real life. You have to deal with it in a non-violent way. Even though I said previously, I don't give a fuck people talking shit about you. Also made a point that you talk to more people than I do on a PC. It's never been taking you down, has it? My point, you never even come close to the same weight. Well, So that only makes sense if you imply that nobody has ever said anything rude to me in real life. Which the truth is, like, people don't do that in real life. Like, you don't go to Walmart and have people, like, talking shit to you constantly at Walmart, because normal people don't act that way in real life. It's just something that happens on the internet. Never no escape out of verbal harassment from unreasonable person. It's very easy to escape from that. You just walk away from them. See it do happen in real life. That's why I say you don't have the experience. I'll try to make you look dumb. Just give me a different POV. I'm 32 years old. I've had plenty of experience in real life. I don't know if you knew this, but I've had multiple, like, real jobs. I have plenty of real life friends. It's no different than on the internet. Yeah, there's a threat of physical violence there, and it definitely makes it more intense. But there's nothing that you can say in real life that's okay, or sorry, that's not okay, that is okay online. That's what I'm saying. Guy's delusional? Yeah, it's just stupid. People don't just avoid rude individuals, but try to get them banned, removed from places instead of blocking or ignoring them. People do that all the time. And, like, you know, like, if there's you're at a restaurant and somebody's being, like, really loud or annoying or something like that, people all the time try to get them removed. Happens way less IRL. Well, the reason why is, like, yeah, I mean, I think it's also the anonymity. Like, people aren't going to pop off like that in real life whenever everybody can see them doing it. And see how it's not the truest truth, just your POV, your stream. This can happen when chat's free. Well, I think it's like, the thing is that it's kind of like an objective fact. And if it's not, then I think that you'd be able to give an example of otherwise. I mean, clearly things are more intense if they are in real life, but there's nothing that you can say or do on the internet that's like, it's okay, but if you do it in real life, it's not okay. Zero experience, you get my point now? The thing is, like, everything that everybody ever says is all relevant to their life experience to a degree. But it's kind of what I'm saying is that, like, for example, if you tell me 2 + 2 = 5 and I say no, it's 4, and then you say, well, that's just your relevant life experience, that doesn't mean that you're wrong or I'm wrong or you're right. Do you believe in absolute truths? Yeah, I think there are some things that are just like, yeah, I think so. Is there something, nothing somebody can say to you that would make you act on a violent manner? Nothing that would make me act in a violent manner. So let's assume that there is. Let's assume that if somebody said something that really you know, that really made me mad, that wouldn't make getting mad acceptable. You see what I'm saying? So, like, just because somebody gets mad and somebody says something that's really mean or makes them angry, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay that they got mad. You see what I'm saying? So, like, even in this situation that you've created, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. Getting mad's fine. Acting on it wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. But you are in your right to get upset. You are not justified to get violent or upset. It's on a different level. Yeah, no, I think it's okay if you get mad at somebody. Like, if somebody's saying things to, like, deliberately make you mad, and then you get mad, like, yeah, I think that's fine. I think if somebody says something to deliberately make you mad and you hit them, that's not fine. Now, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for people who do that and people who get hit for things like that in some circumstances, right? But it's still not, like, you can't have a world that works that way. Physical violence is different than psychological violence? Oh, of course it is. It's completely different. Yeah, it's completely different. Yeah, that's why they're different terms. Yeah. World's always worked like that, though? No, not really. I mean, like, for example, like, the world's always worked in a lot of ways that doesn't work anymore, right? That's probably a good thing. People harass you and trash talk you, you're more right to do the same thing back, to start getting physical, then you absolutely have the right to defend yourself. Oh, 100%. If somebody hits you, you can hit them. That's the way I see it. Self-defense is always okay. Even, like, in my opinion, like, proactive self-defense, right? So, like, if somebody breaks into your house and you shoot them, like, though they didn't shoot you first, right? But they broke into your house. I think that's fine. Violence never the answer. If it's the question, sometimes it has to be the answer. That's what it is. So was Twitch disagree with what you said about defending your house? Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that's true. I think most people would only disagree with it to the extent that they weren't in the situation. Like, they might disagree with it on, like, a philosophical level, but I guarantee you, I mean, like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna call the cops. What do you think the cops are gonna do? They're probably gonna shoot them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because you have the cops, you call the cops and the cops shoot them, I mean, like, it's still the same outcome, right? I mean, fuck. Yeah, you're saving a step. Obviously someone breaks your house trying to harm you in some way. No, that's not true. I think a lot of people just break into somebody's house to steal stuff. Self-harm is for sure a goal, dude. Gangs initiate people in weird ways. So you're saying that every single case of any home invasion is always because they have the intent to harm the homeowner? Like, come on. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, it's clearly, anybody knows that's not true. That's why people break in whenever the person's not there. Most of the time, whenever people break into houses, they assume that the person living there isn't there. Rivers apparently make stakeouts check-in whenever owners aren't there sometimes. Well, and any, like, I mean, think about, like, if you want to break into a house, what would you do? You would probably see when the person was there and when they weren't there, see what car they drive. You know, you could look it up online, look up the address and see how many people live in the house on white pages. That would give you a good idea of, like, what to expect. Figure out where the person works, and then, you know, like, figure out that stuff. City case release a month. Yeah, I mean, like, that's if you wanted to break into a house. And and like, obviously people don't do that, and, you know, you just have, like, people that are, like, basically crackheads, and they just show up and they're just like, hey, you know, let's go. But most people don't do that. Majority are to rob valuables. I think that if I had to guess, I have, like, literally no, like, I don't know anything. I have no idea. I bet over 90% of home invasions, the person that's breaking into the house does not want to harm the owner. I bet it's over 90%. They have no intention and no goal of harming the owner. People trying to steal, kill people? Yeah, most of the time. Problem is, if you're the owner, how do you know? Oh no, I don't care about, like, I mean, again, I'll be in and out without anybody even noticing. Yeah, exactly. You break into someone's house, on you, what happens? They decide to chainsaw you, that's on you. Yeah, I'm very much a believer of, like, if somebody is violent towards you or anything like that, you know, it's totally fine, whatever you do to them. If you're a robber, you kind of know there's a chance that you get killed. Yeah, I mean, of course. Dude's been watching too much crime investigating shows? Yeah, true. Very true. That's Chris Rock would give Will Smith, bro, like, anybody knows, like, that Will Smith shit, like, bro, if it was The Rock up there telling that joke, you know Will Smith would have stayed in his chair. Like, you know that for a fact. Like, if it was fucking Joe Rogan or The Rock telling that joke, like, you know he would have been like, oh man, like, man, why he have to say that? Yeah. Poor guy needs a divorce. I don't know him. It seems that way to me, but I don't know him. Dave Chappelle got saw it. Rockman episode. Was that Will Smith? Yeah, I saw that. Will Smith would be the room down now? Bro. I feel like there's no shot that Will Smith would even stand a chance against The Rock or Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan used to be a professional fighter. Will Smith is an actor. Should a man advance towards you in an argument, offensive comment, making eye contact? I feel like there's kind of like if somebody gets too close to you and like invades your personal space, like I feel like if you hit somebody, if they do that, like it's pretty much okay. Like, even if they don't hit you first, like I think that's pretty much okay to do that. Cause like I mean there's no reason to do that. Mike Tyson situation? Yeah, exactly. After you told him to move, yes. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think it should, like, in general, I don't think it should be on the person who's the victim of something to have to take correct, like, countermeasures. I think the moment that somebody starts trying to escalate something, it's like somebody, you gotta do whatever, whatever makes you safe. You see his apology video? No, I might watch that in a couple of days whenever I'm recovered. We'll see what happens. Think you got a chance in court? Gonna be charged for assault for that? I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I just think, like, in general, like, I think it's justified if somebody is, like, advancing towards you and, like, invading your personal space and they're, like, right up in your face and you hit them. I'm totally fine with that. Because they shouldn't have been doing that. You respond to the classic YouTuber so didn't react to your video? Bro, trying to bring classic Andes back to reality is something that I stopped doing years ago. If he wants to run his guild that way and do what he did, then that's all, it's up to him. Like, I'm not gonna, don't need to argue with people about that. Like, they're not gonna see it the way I see it. I'm not gonna see it the way they see it. And at the end of the day, he can play the game the way he wants, and I'll play the game the way I want, right? Yeah, it's just like I know that it's like it's a no-win situation. Because people like that will never, they're never going to see your point of view, so there's like no point in explaining it to them. Alright guys, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Peace, boys.